I swear this has happened to me before. Did I dream about this last night? Have we had this conversation while wearing these clothes at this restaurant before? It could be that you did dream about this specific situation wearing that ugly Christmas sweater, or that you often have to repeat yourself, parents, I see you, or it could be that you're experiencing the phenomenon known as deja vu, which is French for already seen. Trust the French to have some fancy name for a glitch in the Matrix. No, I'm not talking about Deja Vu, the TikTok song, and it's not the Denzel Washington movie. What I'm talking about is the feeling of, I've been here before. In this instance, here is not so much a location as it is the collection of sensory information that looks, sounds, and feels like it's a replay, a glitch in the Matrix. Because deja vu happens in the brain, it's rather difficult to study what, where, how, and why it happens. Since people need to be alive for deja vu to happen, the brain needs to stay intact. So stand down, Dr. Hannibal. What scientists have been able to deduce is that deja vu could probably be a memory phenomenon and sadly not a glitch in the Matrix. It's really more of a brain glitch, and if you want to know some other cool brain glitches, stay till the end of the video to find out. So what do scientists mean by memory phenomenon? Well, scientists have opted to call it a memory phenomenon because calling deja vu a premonition doesn't carry much weight, and the fact that it's not a premonition. The memory phenomenon theory comes from the findings of experiments showing that deja vu can occur when the actual happenings in life are similar to a memory, but the finer details of the memory can't be recalled. The experiments they performed included hypnotizing people and creating a memory. Something simple like a word in a specific color or having the subjects play a game. Whether they chose to remember or forget the memory under hypnosis, the memory could still trigger deja vu when they encountered either the game or the word that was planted during hypnosis back when they were no longer under hypnosis. A different experiment also made use of a game where subjects played virtual reality sims with two similar layout areas, but where one is a junkyard and the other is a garden of sorts. Reports showed that those who took part in the experiments had feelings of deja vu as they moved throughout the game. Some neuroscientists argue that deja vu occurs when our brain's frontal regions try and correct an inaccurate memory. So it sounds like our brain, scrambling to fix the memory, smooshes the remnants of the memory and the current reality together. But let's look at some other theories of deja vu. Memory phenomenon is the strongest theory to explain deja vu, but there are many others. It could be a false memory, as in a memory that feels so real, but it never happened. Something similar to having dreamt something that felt so real that in your waking moments you struggle to differentiate between reality and the dream. Another theory is that your brain short circuits and misfiles a memory. What I mean by that is that usually the brain takes something that happens and stores it first as a short-term memory, and then later it gets transferred to long-term memory. The short circuit skips the short-term memory step and chucks the information straight into long-term memory. And there's the theory that blames our feelings, saying that the rhinal cortex, where our brains send feelings of familiarity from, is somehow being triggered, but there are no actual memories to back up the feeling. Basically, our brain is crying wolf. Interestingly, when participants of one study had a lab-induced deja vu while strapped to an MRI machine, the part of the brain that deals with memory and such was not the one that lit up like a Christmas tree. Rather, it was the areas that play a role in our decision-making, thus making it seem like our brains are dealing with some form of conflict resolution when we experience deja vu, which makes sense if you are in the camp that hypothesizes that our brain takes our present reality and fills in the blanks of a memory that very closely resembles the present reality. That's not a memory recall, but rather a conflict of sorts. But what causes deja vu? Now that we've explored the various different avenues and theories of what deja vu is, we might be able to know what causes it. Again, since deja vu happens in the brain, it makes it very difficult to study effectively since you need an alive brain to experience the deja vu in order to study it. Yet there are some theories on what causes the phenomenon, such as fatigue. It's no secret that sleep plays a very important role when it comes to the brain functioning optimally. Therefore, lack of sleep can cause a myriad of glitches, deja vu being one of them. When you sleep, your brain uses that time to sort through the events of the day. It takes all of the thoughts, events, feelings, emotions, and sorts them out neatly most of the time. So it stands to reason that being overly tired or fatigued means that there is a backlog of filing in your brain which causes it to glitch. Next is seizures, as there are some studies that have drawn a connection between seizures and deja vus. Not just any seizures, focal seizures that occur predominantly in the temporal lobe of the brain. Would you believe that the temporal lobe of the brain is also the memory center of the brain? Surprise, surprise. Around 60% of people who suffer from focal seizures have reported experiencing feelings of deja vu. It's actually believed that deja vu can be a sign of a focal seizure. Apart from these, science has not really been able to pinpoint any definite causes of deja vu. However, there are some less scientific theories which I think are fantastical, such as parallel universe. This theory is based on the idea that there are multiple universes with multiple versions of us, and deja vu happens when we temporarily match up events with that of our parallel universe counterpart. It seems fantastical, but why would Marvel be the only ones to have multiverses? Reincarnation. Many religions believe in reincarnation, which roughly is when your spirit is reborn after you die into a new organism. On the rare occasions that you are reincarnated into a human form, the belief is that the new you experiences deja vu when you remember things from your previous life. And as I promised earlier, let's take a look at 4 more ways aside from deja vu that your brain glitches that you probably didn't know about. You've held on this far, so here's your prize. The doorway effect. This is the typical, why did I come into this room situation where for the life of you, you can't remember why you were doing what you were doing. Studies have shown that this could be caused by something called a temporary event model, where when you go through a door, the one room looks different than the other one, so your brain replaces the file and you forget why you were there. The next glitch is being colorblind. Now, we're all a little bit colorblind, did you know? Not in the way that people often see red and green as the same hue of gray, but more in the way that there is a mix of color that we as humans cannot process. That mix is called red-green. There's no fancy name like purple for the mix of red and blue. This is basically because the neurons that process red light also process green light, so they literally see it as the same thing before if you had to mix the two colors. Your brain would either only see red or only see green. A light sneeze. And no, this is not like a small mini sneeze, it's more a sneeze that comes about because of bright lights, aka photic sneeze reflex. Studies have shown that 1 in 4 people sneeze when looking at bright lights or the sun. Studies speculate that this is because of a message mix-up in the brain. Signals are being sent to the wrong part or being received by the wrong part of the brain. Science is baffled by this, but it has a very fitting name. ACHOO syndrome. ACHOO syndrome, acronym for autosomal dominant compelling helio-ophthalmic outburst, and phantom of the brain. Phones have taken over our lives, so much so that we often have them on silent to prevent distraction. But we have it on vibrate so that we don't miss anything. Ironic how we let ourselves be distracted by trying not to be distracted. In any case, the rise of please ensure that your phone is on silent has caused a different phenomenon in our brains called phantom vibrations. That is where you feel your phone vibrating in your pocket, yet there are no calls or notifications coming in. This is probably caused by sensory overload, but also probably caused by our phones being attached to our hands 24/7. Now you know what deja vu is, you know why it happens, and you know a whole lot more interesting, trivial, useless information that nobody ever asked you about other brain glitches that happen in our minds. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe and like the channel.